Hello.
Hi, team. Hey. All right. Got a cowgirl in the house.
What happened there? My Panama. Got this, the Panama Canal.
Nice, nice. I love. Hello, Edwin. Hi. How are you?
Hey everybody.
Hi, Brian. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Saul, I know that you're just listening in, right? Because you're at work. And Keith, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate all you guys. I have been searching this morning for a document that we used last year that was related to the program in terms of the timeline. I think, Brooksy, you have your own version of it that's like super detailed for your logistic timeline of what happens next and all of that. But I can't find mine at the moment. So I apologize for that. And I feel like I need to just do a little scratch version of it just for now, just so that we can do some work. But some of you have seen some of this work before, so I don't want to spend too much time going into detail in terms of like what each artist does and each artist looks like or any of that, because that'll take up the entire hour. But what I do want to kind of do is go through the various artists and call out the ones that have like big logistical needs that I think we have to pay attention to. Brooksy and I have done a version of that, so some of it might be a little bit redundant for you, Brooksy, but this is for the whole group. And the main thing that I'm thinking about is I think the next time that we meet, we should meet in person, and that should be our walkthrough, you know. Right now, I know that the soap factory is really busy. They're getting ready to gear up for their Chicano Music Fest this weekend. So I don't want to bother them at all right now. They're very, very busy. And they expect 3,000 people or so, 3,000 people, which is similar to our festival. So that they've done that before. They did that last year, and I think it was a success. They had a couple of hiccups, as I understand. And so I'm hoping that they learned from those, and then this will be a smoother kind of, process. And I think they're opening up that door right on the side, which is a brand new kind of access point. So that's kind of cool. So be curious to see how all that turns out. So I'm just going to share with you like the big general wait, let me open up this new. So that's my sheets. Okay. And then I'm going to open up this super quick visuals just to give you a sense of like the creative part of it, which we're all very excited about. The big story here right now is that all the contracts are signed. We got images from all the artists. The press release went out on April 30th as a save the date, but with no artist announced. The artist announcement happens on May 22nd. On June 14th, we have a walkthrough with the media and all the artists. So that's where we're inviting all the artists to come and be interviewed by the media and all of that. And then also all of the curatorial team has been hired. So we've got 3 really powerful curators that are going to be leading all the various artists. I'm taking on some of them because I'm a performing arts professional, and I feel really comfortable in that space. And I know that I have already a really good relationship with a couple of those people that I would prefer to just be their point person. They are the ones that have like the larger sort of logistics that I think I can handle, and I don't want to sort of hand that off to someone that I don't know well enough if they can handle it, if that makes sense. So anyway, so here's what the visuals are all starting to look like. I'm gonna zoom through these, but these are just some of the teaser stuff that we're starting to play with. These are some of the images from last year's festival. But you could start to see the branding and all of that happen. This is an artist, large 8-foot colonnades, which I love because this gives us the opportunity to either create a performing arts space as a half circle or a colonnade of 8 columns that can guide you somewhere on your way to another experience. So this is a really flexible project that can help us. Digital space that needs darkness. This is a program that scans your body, creates a digital avatar of you, and then that digital avatar is interacting with digital avatars from people in Tijuana that she's interviewed. So it's a really cool kind of very techie thing, but it needs darkness. So that could probably only live in the Manzanita room, which is that dark room behind the stage. We need to find a location for this steamroller printmaking. It's a daytime activity only, and then the works of art are going to be exhibited. This is from Mesa College. They're going to be exhibited on the fencing areas, so those portable fences that we've determined we can use to create kind of walkways or environments. I talked to them yesterday, and they actually mentioned that they would be open to having the activity happen on the corridor that we're thinking about closing. So we'll have to do a walkthrough and see if it's going to be lowrider cars there, or if it's going to be this screen printing activity, or what could happen there. But that's why the walkthrough is really pertinent here. Standard exhibition area, very simple. Don't need to get into it. This one needs some width. It needs to be pushed up against a wall. This is 2 very gigantic, like 14-foot looms that are going to be engaging with one another. And then this is a daytime activity that people come in and they write things related to prompts. This is a super small mock-up of that. It's not the actual piece. And so we need a place for the 2 looms to live up against a wall. 2D art exhibited on fencing, digital art. It can be a projection. It can be on screens. Video art, self-walking tour of some of the graffiti art that's happening there. Video art. Chalk walk is another one that we have to figure out where we're going to place them. We only have 4 artists, so that's very doable. You can see 4 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the distance that we're looking for. And it could be a really great way to sort of welcome people to the corridor. The entry point, I'm going to do a quick share here because I just downloaded this document. Stop for a sec. So, because I'm not sure that everybody has not everybody attended last year's fest. I think it's just probably Brian who didn't attend last year's festival. So let me share this one. This will give you a better sense of like the actual locations. So this was last year's corridor. Here, let me move out of the way. Okay, so here's last year's corridor. So we closed this entire the parking all along this corridor. We're only going to close here, from here. So this is a parking garage for tow trucks for the CHP, and they need egress here. So they would prefer if we didn't close in front of them, and we don't need to. So my thought is if we start the fencing from here onward. And so that would be the main entry point of the festival. Since we can't make this the entry point of the festival because it's a fire lane. So we can make this the entry point of the festival and then have activity happening all down this corridor. And it could be the lowrider trucks, cars. It could be the screen printing. It could be, booths, artisans, whatever, all sorts of things all happening down here. And then the main festival happens on the property of the soap factory as well as 30th Street here. So I want to give you a reference point there. Okay, so going back to the artists. And feel free to stop me. I'm going quickly because there's more logistics to talk through versus the art. So I just want to make sure that you kind of get a sense of it all. So that's the chalk walk that potentially could happen down the corridor. The thing, this was on the what is this material called? The gravel or whatever this is on the street. Somebody, whatever, whatever this material is on the floor. It's not cement, obviously,
Is
but
it DG?
it's not DG. It's
Not asphalt.
I think it's asphalt, actually. I think
Yep.
it's asphalt. So they did this on asphalt and it was really, really tricky for them. So what they're thinking about instead is doing it on panels that are modular. And so that makes it way easier for us because we don't have to pay the cleaning fee at the end with the city and all of that. They're portable, they can be placed anywhere. So it gives us tons of flexibility, but we do need a corridor and they do need this much space around all around them because the artists sit all around the visual.
And Susanna, maybe we can display those panels at the factory later. I mean, that's
Yeah,
what's so great about it.
yeah.
Instead of, I hate, like Little Italy when they just wash them away. It's like, oh man, it hurts my soul.
Oh,
So if we
right.
could preserve those, it'd be so great.
I wonder if there is a way to preserve chalk art, like if there's a spray lacquer or something at the end of it that we could do something like that. But
We can
chalk
look we
that's
can
the
look into
medium.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would love
I'd
to
love to
save them.
ask them. Maybe there is something like that we could do. Did you have a
The,
question?
um,
Steve?
I was just going to say the monks come here and they build those beautiful mandalas. They spend days making them with sand and they're just amazing. And then they wipe them all off when they're done. Impermanence, that's part of the art is to
That's
go away
temporary,
at the end.
temporal, yeah.
It's intended to be temporary. And
Okay, film
you don't have
festival,
to feel as bad as what I was trying to say.
thank you. Film festival, film festival, film festival. So that would happen inside of the soap factory building because we have a nice amount of darkness. There's a bar, it's all kinds of good stuff there. This is a 2D art photography by young students. They're young students and it's exceptional. Their programming is wonderful outside the lens. So Lowrider Car Show, we talked about that. We need to find a place. I haven't heard back from these guys. One of our curators has a relationship with them and is finding out whether or not they're going to do anything, but it's a immersive art installation is what they proposed. So now we're going into the performing artists. So, just a reminder, and I guess I should open up that document. So we're looking at 4 stages. Okay. So there's a lot of performing arts, but there's not a lot of groups that have a lot of bodies, like a lot of performers. There's only a couple of them, which actually do need the full pop-up stage that we're popping up, like full truss and lighting and the whole thing. There's only a couple of folks that need that, and I'll call out the ones that do that, but the others are just 1 or like 2 dancers or up to 3 dancers. So those could happen on the main stage of the soap factory currently, the one under the awning, or it could happen inside the little super small stage where we have our little jazz nights on the second Tuesday of the month. And then we have the little garden area where like a 1 person or 2 people, spoken word situation could happen. So we've got some flexibility, and maybe today is not the day that we decide where everybody goes, but I'd love to at least know which ones for sure we know need to go in which places, and then we can fill in the blanks later. So this is one of those groups that would need the full truss and lighting, the full stage theatrical setup. This is Rosenbach's exceptional dance company, like world class. This is a pop-up 2D art installation that has projections on both sides. So it needs a bit of darkness, but it's super modular. We can place her anywhere. Fashion Week is like the last one that I want to think about because first we have to figure out the layout of the festival itself, and they can go anywhere. But what they do need though is they need a green room. And so this is where it gets a little bit tricky where, I mean, ideally, I'm sure they would love to have, the green room be, what do you call it? The behind the stage, but we need to use that for one of the video art installations. So it's not going to work there. I thought maybe that like the screen printing shop might be able to open up some of their space for that possibly, or maybe I don't want to say the shoe folks, the shoe factory, because they want to offer their space as an after party for the artists. So obviously we can't ask them to do both things. I think it would be tricky to do that. Maybe I'm wrong. They have a lot of space. So but they need a green room. All right, so Shock is immersive.
Susanna, how many models? Like, what's the?
Last year they had, I want to say about 10. Does that sound right? Yeah, like 10 models, but they need like their hair people, they need electrical access. They need, some place to change. So they need probably, I would say 10, 20, 30, like a 30 by 30 foot space would be the minimum. This is a 4-person dance performance, and I kind of would like to just place them in an unexpected location versus like on a stage, here's the show kind of thing. The only reason the other dance company fits really well there is because they have a tech component that has to happen, because there's a kinetic component where the lighting follows their movement. And so it's like dancing. The light is dancing. It's really cool. But these guys don't really need that. I would love to find an unexpected place for them. 1-person show, he needs darkness. It's a theatrical piece of The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, but it's in Spanish. And we can put him anywhere, and I'd love to put him somewhere super unexpected. His ask is for it to be in a very kind of like really urban looking area, so that it looks kind of messy, almost like he's in a hall, what do you call those? Like an alley or something. That's his ask. Can you find me like something that looks really like raw and like alley? And I'm like, okay. Burn Street Circus is daytime activity only, and that will be, in the main lot in front of the main stage. Probably it wraps up pretty quickly and pretty easily. Like in 30 minutes, they can tighten it all, wrap it all up. But these would be 2 back-to-back performances so that it can just be experienced and then quickly put away. They do have a 14-foot truck that has to be parked. And we just have to figure out a placement for them so that they can drive it out when they're done, or it lives there the whole night, but that might be tricky for them. So that's one of our issues. These guys can go anywhere if it's a percussive group. They also have a tap component, but they have their tap boards, so we really could place them almost anywhere. It's like, think like Stomp, but with found objects. And so I think Brooksy mentioned it would be kind of fun to put them almost at the entrance of that corridor, almost like a welcoming, so that could be kind of fun if we can figure out the timing for that. No, these guys haven't confirmed, but they're very simple. It's a one singer.
Susana,
Mande.
I'm
Adelante.
sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I just kind of want to mention that in terms of technical support, some of these performers that are very, avant-garde, for example, that performer the dancers that want to dance like in an alley because they want that urban feel.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're not like a musical band where they have like equipment, some of them actually require more tech support because of their remote location.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gets really, really technical because they really want to do something very creative somewhere outside of the stage. And that requires a lot of attention. I remember last year the dancers that danced at the print shop, they had the most tech requirements out of everyone. Luckily they brought in a lot of their own stuff, but some of these performers, even though they're not like a musical performance or they're not going to perform on the main stage, actually require a lot of tech support because they need, they're not just going to dance in the dark without music. Now we have to bring music and lights, stuff like that, to where they choose to dance. And it gets very technical and very logistically complicated. I kind of want to put that out there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think
And-
the low hanging fruit is to put him on the main stage with the full theatrical lighting that he's looking for. That's easy, right? Because it's already set up. What were you gonna say, Brooksy?
Well, we're gonna send out because we have time. Last year we weren't able to do it in the time frame when we started looking at some of this. But I will be sending out this month to the confirmed performers a request for tech information that's very specific, and weed through it and be able to let them know what we can and cannot do, so that the expectations are not set, 2 weeks out, we're changing that.
Right.
And then place some of this based on, while we would love to do it from a purely creative decision-making, some of the placement is going to be based on shared backline tech, whatever support it is, in order to maximize the dollars and the experience all the way around. So that'll be going out this week, and it'll have everything from how long is your load in, how long is your rehearsal, and we will not be committing to anyone that says you will get all of this, but tell us what it is that is your bottom line, and then we will aggregate that into an overall plan that works for the whole.
Yeah.
And we'll have that by June. So we'll have all that sorted out by June to then go out and bid. And at that point, we will have everything put into a zone. And so this zone needs this because it supports these 5 different types of things. This zone, this zone, that. And we'll lay it out that way.
Mm-hmm. One thing I will share too is that even though I said that's his ask, he's so flexible. Like all of these people, I had that conversation with them. It's like we can't promise you, that you're going to be in the ideal location, and that's kind of what the media walkthrough is. So the first walkthrough is that similar to what we did last year, is that we just did a walkthrough of the corridor, a walkthrough of the spaces, and said, okay, give me your top 2 locations where ideally you would love to perform. And they know that they won't know of their location and the exact logistics until very, way closer to the event. So they will, and thankfully everybody was like, sure, you place me wherever, we're flexible, whatever works. So there is that vibe, that the energy is, we'll figure it out together, but thank you for bringing that up. Totally true. These guys, these are the guys, folks haven't confirmed yet, but they're super interested, and we'll know by May 15th, like for sure. I wouldn't send anything until May 15th, after let's say May 16th for you, Brooksy, because at that point we may get these couple of stragglers in, and you won't have to do double work. So if you can wait till May 16th, that would be great.
Yeah, no, I was gonna wait. I'm gonna have everything ready, and once you know who's confirmed, and then I'm gonna translate the document into Spanish for those that need it in Spanish.
Thank you.
So I have it just all sitting in the can, but I still need to go through and create the more sort of focused contact sheet and the tech
Yeah.
whole, like where I'm gonna dump all this as the stuff comes in.
Yeah.
I'll
Thank
get
you.
all that done before I send it out.
All right, so single singer, single piano, portable piano, keyboard, and sometimes they do a little bit of contemporary art along with their work. So we're finding out whether or not they're going to participate. Poets Underground, this is a traditional, it can be inside of the soap factory very easily. These guys are, they want to do, it's a version of Teatro Campesino. Saul, you'll know what this is, Chicano theater, and it's immersive. And so their hope is that they can have like a central point. So there's 4 or 5 different speakers that are kind of with, ¿cómo se llaman? What do you call these? Where you hold it and it amplifies your voice, like at sports games and things like that. Cheerleaders.
Bullhorn.
A vocoder.
Bullhorns, I think is what it is. But anyway, so they'll be placed in various locations throughout the property, and that'll be their, audio for the moment. And then they'll meet up in a central point that will have, traditional AV. If it's not too complicated, we could also just lapel mic them or something like that. but their vision is to recreate what it feels like to be followed by immigration at the border. Like you're being searched, right? So they'll have like headlights on, and be like, so, and also what they're hoping to do is a version that feels almost like a surprise. So we'll have to program them in a place where there's already an existing audience right now, and then they come on right after. So those are thoughts. Simple short storytelling, quick slam with video, with art inside the soap factory. These are one of the folks that are going to need that full stage and lighting, and they're doing a theatrical piece with the La Jolla Playhouse and Moxie Theater. And they've been workshopping it for months, and they're going to continue to workshop it for us, and this will be like their first public live performance. Animal Cracker Conspiracy, daytime experience, large scale puppets, fun, kids, family. This is a small, very small Black theater group called Common Ground Theater, and they are still don't know which they're gonna these are the folks. There's 3 people that I'm waiting on, like what they're actually proposing, but it should be like a 2 or 3 person character theatrical piece, and that could be on the main stage, but it could, I mean, on the large space, or it could be on the, what is that 20 by 30-foot stage that the soap factory has. It could be on that stage and be perfectly fine. So just to say out loud, the current soap factory stage will need theatrical lighting for the whole night. So we can do some clamp lights and things. Same with Diversionary Theater. It could be right there in that same space. And San Diego Ballet, it's going to be a 2-person dance performance. So these last 3 that I just mentioned I'm waiting to hear back from them before May 15th. They know the deadline. And if after that we don't hear them, then we got to close up shop and just go forth. So that's it. That's the lineup. And so, those are like our big logistical things that we just have to pay attention to. And I'd love to just take a look at the calendar and see if you guys might be available the next time we meet in person. Let's see. So the next time we meet, where is our next time? On the 7th? Friday the 7th. Does that work for all of you? Is this an hour that you could actually come in person? So, you might be working in the daytime. I'm not sure.
Is that 7th of
June.
What is today? Gosh, May. June 7th.
Works for me.
Yeah, okay. Friday, June 7th at this hour at 11.
It'll be TBD for me, probably not.
Oh, really? Okay, we should probably do it on a date when definitely you need to be there because you're production manager. So why don't you?
I have another event that I have to spec for. I've got a thing here on the 8th and the 9th, so I don't know if I would be able to be there. Possibly. Let me check and see. There is the possibility that I could do that. If it's at 11, if I'm out of there by 1 o'clock, that could work.
Oh, we should be done by 1 for sure.
That could work. Yeah, I have another site visit. So
as long as you can leave by 1, you think it's okay, or do you still want to?
Yeah, I think that should be fine.
Okay, so then that's a yes. So we'll say that's an in-person.
And I'm gonna confirm that with the other party today. Okay. So if there is an issue, then I'll let you know, because I would be able to do the day before on the 6th.
Okay, the day before wouldn't work for me. I've got the marketing meetings.
Yeah, let me check, because I think I can, as long as they're okay with it, the prior commitment on that for end of day that day, then yeah, that should work.
Okay.
So
let me know, and then I'll send out the call. But for everybody, if you can just pencil it in right now, that we're going to be in person. I would give us 2 hours, but I really think we can knock it out in an hour if we're efficient. But sometimes we get chatty.
Question, a question for you. Sorry, my camera, my
it's fine.
things going in and out. My camera off. So two things. One, we looked at the ground plan that you had, and you and I have down, I think, on the Friday before Memorial Day to walk through and look at your placement. I want to talk to you about and see if to get Renee to kind of scale this out based on the plan that we have. I got a blank plan from her, so I want to walk through, because like I was sharing with you, the placement and how you have things on there, it's actually scaled much differently. So we have a quasi scale that she as an architect put together on my measurements. And it might be of benefit to spend a few $100s to have her plop a few key things in and scale so that we can work around. I know there's not the money to have her do the full ground plan, but she might be willing to do it $500. I don't know. But if we could get one or two anchor items in there, then I think that's going to help you when you're working with the plan, have a visual scale to then go from. If that makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So we can do that. So we'll have that ready for our walkthrough on the 7th, is sort of what I'm saying, is if you and I still meet on that Friday, then we can bang
when are
out.
we meeting? When are we meeting again? I'm sorry, I'm looking.
You and I put down, hold on a second, let me just say that. You and I were talking about
Oh, the 24th.
24th, right?
Okay.
So if we stick with that and we pencil some stuff in, then I can get it to Renee and see if she can't provide and scale a few key things that we can walk through with on the 7th.
Okay. Yeah, let's shoot for that. Keith, I think we could budget for that, right?
And I'll find out what she'd be willing to do for us. She's,
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's worth it to have
yeah,
real
and
scale.
she, just so you know who this is the producer that's worked with me for like 12 years. So she's the second of my team. It's me and her expertise is in the physical space design, because she's an interiors architect as well as an event producer.
Yeah.
So she works in CAD, and I went out and I measured as best as I could in my lame, non-professional way some of the spaces, because the floor plan that exists from the soap factory is kind of off. And I'm encouraging them to spend the money to do a survey or work out a survey so we have a proper. So she can't stamp it as the architect because I measured it. She cannot confirm it in that way, but it's enough that we're able to put things in scale and look at what's fitting into the space over there, if that makes sense. So that's just to give you a little side note as to who this is, but she's in New York, so she doesn't.
Yeah.
we do
No, I
everything
still think
we
it's very useful. I think it'll serve us to.
Oh, it's very
actuals.
eye-opening when you actually put things in plan.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you. Yeah, if you can find out like what her fee would be.
Yeah, it won't be her regular fee. I'm asking her for
Yeah.
favors right now, and she could use the extra money. So
Okay,
as
sure.
long as it's not a lot of back and forth, if it becomes a job, that's one thing. But if it's just giving us a footprint from which we can work more sort of realistically from, then that's a different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can budget for that for sure. Okay, so May 24th, you and I are meeting, and maybe, anybody else that's interested in joining us, that might be a good day. We're walking through the space. I mean, it's sort of redundant. I mean, but I think it's really important to really start to understand it. The first walkthrough will be like measuring and, seeing what's possible. The second one would probably be more into like, we're going to place that guy here. We're going to place this guy here. Right. So, you're invited to both. I'm going to add all of you guys to May 24th if you're interested. Not mandatory.
And I need to confirm.
That one we have at 9:30. Is that okay with all?
Yeah, let me also confirm with Sasha that there's not some massive Memorial Day weekend event setting up, right?
Right. I mean, we can be little flies on the wall and just tap out of the way. We don't need to get into their way or anything.
Yeah, so
that day.
the goal of that really, Suzanne, was just so that you and I could kind of sketch out from what you already had on plan.
Yeah.
And we can figure it based on the real space. So I think it'd be great for others to come, but I think it would be more beneficial for those on the 7th, because we can present something that is 50% down the road. Like we can work out the bugs.
Right. Okay,
I'd
sounds
like to
good.
come, Susanna, on the 24th,
Fourth?
just because I haven't seen the space. I don't think I'm
Yeah.
going to be very useful on
We'd
the
love to
7th if
have
I
you.
haven't
Yeah,
seen it
so
yet.
I'll add you to the
Yeah.
24th for sure. I'll add
That'd be great.
everybody that's here, and if you're interested, feel free to pop in. We just have to be, like I said, like a little fly on the wall if they have anything going on at that time. We're just kind of understanding the space better. And then for sure the 7th. So write that one down. The
And the
24th is at
changes.
9:30.
And the changes there, the new art that's gone in, all the new
Right.
murals that are in place. So
Yeah.
some were just finished in the last 48 hours that are pretty amazing.
Oh, great.
Yeah, because there are lots going in for Chicana Music Festival. So there's all of these things are, so like the Soap Factory's mural that is now on the shipping container.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe that doesn't want to get covered up now with the piece we were talking about, because there's this mural that was just finished. And so
Right.
maybe the stage is not focused going this way. Maybe that's the backdrop for stage. So there's a lot of things that are changing that could also help to define where what fits better.
Right. Okay, cool, interesting. Yeah, no, well, that's what keeps happening at this space, is like it keeps evolving. Every time that we show up, we're like, oh, and now they have a commercial kitchen. That's great.
And I'm gonna sort of talk off topic just real quick since Edwin's on here. Edwin, I'm still gonna get you what you asked me for, but I am waiting to put in the scaled occupancy for a seated dinner and for a reception, so that you have that to go with the packet you're gonna send out.
Great. And just FYI, all where like last year where we had the 12 cubicle or the 12 spaces for the beers, that's all going to convert into cubicles for venues. So they're going to convert all that space that's along the back there, it's hard
Here, I
to,
can open up
It's the concession area. That's gonna be for
Yeah.
food and concessions.
yeah. Those are their plan is to make all those venues. So they'll have
when you say venues, do you mean
Yeah, what do
vendors?
you
permanent, like that's going to be spaces where people are going to have their coffee shop, all those
It's
different
vendors, not venues.
vendors.
They're gonna have a permanent pizza guy, a permanent taco guy. It'll be.
So that might make a difference in our thought process too.
Yes, and those are all coming on board now. So
Yeah.
they be in place by the end of May.
Yeah.
And so what Susanna's showing here, I'm just gonna show for an example.
This is what you're referring to right here, right?
Right. So the concession area is gonna be permanent concessions, and there are 2 vendors already signed up that are starting next week that will be permanent providers.
Cool. How
There
many fit
They
here?
also have, don't know yet. They also just brought on board EHS, which is an event hospitality company that is going to be supporting CHIP, and they're just now going into contract with them. What they do is they basically are coming in to run food and beverage. They're not caterers. They are bodies.
They'll be preferred vendor. Yeah, our preferred vendor.
As bodies. Now there's a preferred caterer behind the scenes catering, which is from the corporate side. And so when behind the scenes brings a corporate client and does a buyout, then they do all of that. So, and I kind of need to work out how that's going to work now, because that's all new information from the EHS. But EHS is basically the staffing arm of CHIP's operation.
Okay.
And they are going to carry the license. They are carrying the alcohol license.
Oh, okay. But I thought the soap
A lot of
factory already
changes in the
got their
last 3
liquor
years.
license. Didn't the soap factory get their liquor license?
There's layers to that. And per my conversation yesterday with Mark, they have it. They needed to transfer some stuff over. They needed to buy out the license from the previous holder. So these things have all transpired, and part of bringing in EHS is that they are buying into that licensing as well. So I don't know the details, and it's not necessarily a Brooksy needs to know, but in general, that has all transitioned, and that
Okay.
all just transitioned and had to happen before they went into Chicana Music Festival. So it's all on the up and up now as of 48 hours ago.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good news, I guess. Okay, great. So super quickly, this is the non-official, non-measured version that Brooksy and I put together after going through some of the changes. So this line here is that shipping container that has a mural on it. And according to Brooksy, there's enough space back here for the restrooms. So that took away the restrooms that we had here, which is great because now we can, this is now better used space. And so the stage moved over here to the right. All of this is art exhibition area here. Originally, I thought this is where the steamroller printmaking activity would happen, and then the art installation would happen here. So this line right here represents the row of planters of plants that are quite wide, actually. But she's saying that it doesn't look like there's actually going to be room here, probably. So that's where we're thinking now. Maybe we'll move them down the corridor or someplace else. So.
Right, because if you look at, and if you want, I can share it or not share it. I had Renee take out our wine festival stuff, so I've got a blank plan.
Okay.
That was filled, and that patio extends almost to where the word steamroller printing is.
Yeah, I
That's
made that adjustment
the
the last time we
outside.
spoke. So originally I had it down here.
Yeah, I can see you moved it
Yeah,
up.
if you want to share your screen to give us a better sense of it, but this is, nothing
Okay,
else
if
has
you can put me
changed in
on-
terms
if
of
you
what
can give
we
me-
spoke about.
If you can give me access.
You should have access, go for it.
Oh, got it now. Okay, so this is, like I said, this is the blank, where am I? And there's stuff that's not in here. So this was, again, going out and looking at some measurements. So this is the
So now
area.
you're looking at it, just for reference point, this is 30th Street. No, wait a minute.
30th Street
The
is over.
Manzanita room, private dinner,
Right.
where are you? Hold on, I'm trying to
The
think.
top
Oh,
of the page is Commercial Street.
this is commercial. Okay,
At the top of the page.
thank you.
Over to the far left, this is what we just took out as not usable space for programming, because that is where the shipping container and the area blocks off. You've got about 8-9 feet plus 17 feet here. So I haven't, this was just blocking, right? For the purpose of when I did this. But you'll see here, the patio actually extends out a lot further. It's almost halfway through to the pavilion. And then this whole area back here is the hydroponic wall that's gone in and some other things. So we haven't blocked out this space here, but this space is not usable space.
Yeah.
So the steamroller, if you put it out here, then you can see, well, how much do you have over here with the festival bar? And this is just blocked out down here where they're going to do grilling stations and stuff.
Yeah.
Even though it's an empty space right now, it's not a programmable space.
Mhm.
But that's what I did with this when trying to figure out how many tents can I get out here for food and wine. We just went in and blocked anything that could not be utilized for programming.
Right.
So your bathroom should fit back here because I marked off, and there's access to get to the restrooms here and then come out.
Yeah.
There's also the Airstream that lives here now. Now that can be moved, but
The
it does
Airstream could be a green room. Not large enough
If
for
Mickey's-
the,
yeah,
not large enough for that's what it's designed for, as I understood from them. But not large
Well,
enough
if
for
Mickey's in
Fashion Week,
town-
for the record, but for
Yeah.
smaller groups or whatever.
It could, but if Mickey is in town and staying in it, and if he comes to the event, it's his, that's what he stays in.
Oh, okay.
It's his thing. And he stays in it when he comes. So that would be a TBD.
Maybe
And
one of the arts residency, Edwin, is if one of the rooms in the building is not being used,
Yep.
maybe the Fashion Week could use
That would be
is-
a great idea.
and they'd love
Yeah.
that because it would be perfect because they have electrical, they have a bathroom, you know,
Yep.
water
Yeah, that's what,
access.
maybe we could work it so that could be empty that weekend.
One of the spaces.
One of the cubicle, one of the, the
Yeah,
studios.
that's a great
Yeah.
idea.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll take this off, but this is just, these are just the key areas and the space to work with. Everything over here is the DG.
Mhm.
So the 84 is your paving, and then this is roughly 50 feet or so.
Yeah.
So Edwin, just so you know, I'm gonna drop in, and this here, the size of the soap factory, this is the usable space, so we didn't put in the bar because it was being built at the time, so there still needs to be an accurate survey here for the uses, the rentals and stuff, but it is very, very helpful to know, like, when you're planning, like, this is where the steamroller was initially, it was up here. So
Yeah, I
it
was wrong on that.
we'll go on this. Yeah, but it's easy to eyeball it because it feels different when you eyeball it. But when you actually start plucking things down in their square footage,
Yeah,
you start seeing the space gets eaten up very quickly.
for
So
sure.
we'll go and we'll do it, and then we'll measure it out, and we'll put in a few key things, and then that key thing is we can pivot off from those moving parts.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
yes, Saul, the RV belongs to Mickey. That is his.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have much for now. I mean, I think, we have 10 minutes left, and I thought we might have time to start actually putting down, you know, time slots and all of that, but that's its own meeting. And after I've already started the process, because you guys are planners and you already know this, I don't need to, it's just like preaching to the choir, but you know that this is the process that's going to take the longest, is figuring out the placement of all the program. Because it's a very full program, as you can see. We're very excited about the quality of work and everybody that's submitted and excited about it. We have an event on May 18th, which is our big fundraiser with the estate of Jean-Michel Basquiat. We're flying in the Two Sisters. It's a big deal, and I'm mentioning it here only because it is helping to fund the festival. So that is our big fundraiser. You're all invited. I hope you can all join us. We have a lot of art that was donated, and we need help on Friday, the 17th. And I'm saying this, but I don't know if on Friday it's even, like, if the space is even available to us on Friday. So I have to check in with the soap factory before I start like saying this, but we need help with like installation of art and moving some furniture around. I don't know if Friday we're going to have access to it, so it might have to happen that Saturday morning, which would be crazy.
Yeah,
A very long day.
17th is the event, the rope event.
Oh, is
So,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
but I mean, that's at 7. I think 7 to 11 or 7 to 10 at evening, but they do set up a little bit, but that just FYI.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if and they're using the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I think it's going to get bigger this time.
Do you think that I can that they'll be using those portable walls? Because that's where I wanted to install the art.
Uh, I think we can reserve it.
Because maybe we can install it and then
let's ask Chris, or let's
yeah, I was gonna call them today to figure that out, but I
make
was
sure that
thinking maybe
we
we can
reserve those.
install it and then put it in the Manzanita room and lock it up, and then just roll it out when we need it for the next day. You know. But yeah, that's my logistic, because Saturday is going to be a very long day if we're doing all the work on Saturday morning and then the gala at night. So, but I appreciate that it's a Friday night. They have to rent it, you know, it's important. So, yeah, I'll call them today and see what we have access to. I'm trying to build a team that are going to do that. I have like my staff for the day of the event. Volunteers are always, you know, welcome if that's of interest or you know someone, but it is a big deal. It's going to be a super fun party, delicious food, live music, all the things. So I hope you all can join us. Does anybody have any other questions, thoughts, suggestions, anything we haven't touched on for now? Otherwise, we'll see each other either on the 24th or the 7th.
let's really keep, the only thing that concerns me is that green room, because that's really essential. They do need amenities, and if we can't get the studios, we're gonna have to figure out a pop-up or something, because I
Yeah.
don't think we have room, brick and mortar wise.
No, we can do a pop-up somewhere.
Okay.
We can certainly do a pop-up somewhere outside of the footprint of the soap factory, probably. I don't know yet where, but they're very flexible. They just need electrical access for sure, though. They just need that, absolutely. So, that's what we'll figure out in all of these. And, if you come up with any other thoughts, suggestions, ideas, or anything, or if you know of someone who may be able to assist us, at least volunteer either for May 18th, 17th, 18th, the 17th is the setup, potentially, hopefully, maybe, or 17th, or excuse me, or the 18th Saturday, that would be great. And of course, for the main festival, of course, we're going to be looking for volunteers. So, all hands on deck kind of thing. Thank you guys for being part of this. I'm so excited. This is such a highly capable, badass team. I feel like really empowered, like we're gonna knock this out of the ballpark. But yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. Other than that, have a great day. Have a great rest of your day.
See everybody. Bye now.
Bye,
All right,
everybody.
bye.
Bye. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. I was going to take a picture since you turned on your camera. So, all right, next time. Bye.
Okay, next time. All right, bye.